Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Everything Travel and Health. I hope you're doing great. In this video, I will talk about the common reasons for Canada visitor visa refusal in 2023. In one of my previous videos, I spoke about one of the easiest ways people are immigrating to Canada, which is through the visitor's visa. Most people get into Canada via this route, get a job, and convert the visitor's visa into a work permit visa. If you have not yet seen the video, the link is up on your screen or in the description box of this video. I also have another video on the step-by-step process of a visitor visa application. The link is also available. In order to be successful with your application, it is important that you know some of the various reasons why a lot of applicants have had their applications rejected. This will help you know how to prevent it. There, I shall be giving you the commonest reasons for refusal and what you can do to prevent it or remedy it if you have been a victim. So, to get all the information, pay attention and watch this video through to the end. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not done so, and don't forget to push the notification bell for upcoming episodes. Without any further delay, let's get into the video. Failure to meet Section 179(b) of the Immigration and Refugee Protection Regulations, IRPR, is the most frequently cited reason for the refusal of a visitor visa application to Canada. Most visitor visa refusals stem from failure to meet this requirement in different ways. So, before we talk about the various individual reasons, let's first see what Section 179(b) of the IRPR says. Section 179(b) of IRPR states as follows. An officer shall issue a temporary resident visa to a foreign national if, following an examination, it is established that the foreign national b. will leave Canada by the end of the period authorized for their stay under Division 2. Division 2 relates to conditions for temporary residence. Now, let's look at some of the common reasons for visitor visa refusal and how you can avoid them. 1. Visa refusal, based on immigration status. By law, the applicant must be in a legal situation in the nation in which they are present at the time they submit their application in order to apply for a visa to enter Canada. The applicant's visa application will be rejected if they do not already have legal status in that nation and have not been admitted for at least a certain period of time. The application for a visa to enter Canada must include sufficient evidence of the applicant's legal status in their country of residence at the time the application is made, otherwise, the application will be rejected. So, if, for example, you are a citizen of India but currently reside in Dubai at the time of submitting your application, then you must show evidence that you are a legal resident in Dubai to be granted a visitor visa to Canada. 2. Visa refusal, based on purpose of visit. A visitor visa refusal, based on the purpose of the visit is tricky, because it is such a highly discretionary reason for refusal. Sometimes this reason for refusal is given because not enough detail was provided on the application regarding why the applicant was specifically coming to Canada. For example, if the applicant said they were coming to visit their friend, this is vague, and the officer could have doubts about the reason. Whereas, if the applicant said that they were coming to visit their friend because the friend was getting married in Niagara Falls and included a copy of the wedding invitation, this would be a much better way to explain why the visa is needed. 3. Visa refusal, based on family ties. A refusal based on the family ties of the applicant, whether in Canada or in the country of residence or both, is an extremely common ground for the refusal of a visitor visa. If the applicant has family in Canada, then this can work against the applicant, as it is one reason that they may not wish to return home at the end of their stay in Canada. For example, if the applicant is applying to visit his wife in Canada and all of his family resides in his home country, then this requires a detailed explanation regarding the nature of the applicant's ties both in Canada and at home. 4. Visa refusal, based on travel history. Rejections based on prior travel are challenging, but can be overcome with a fresh application. When an applicant has never gone outside of their home country before or has traveled outside of their home country but not frequently, the IRCC denies applications based on travel history. In some cases, if an applicant has a lengthy history of travel, this can even be a reason for rejection. Lack of travel history can be overcome in a new application with travel to other countries or other means. 5. Visa refusal, based on personal assets and financial status. As an applicant for a visitor visa to Canada, it is extremely important to prove to the immigration officer that you have the money to finance your trip to Canada. In a visa application, you have to prove that you have sufficient funds to pay for your ticket and travel to Canada. Have sufficient funds to pay for the costs during your visit, such as tourism, meals, lodging, gifts, etc. Have sufficient funds to pay for your ticket and travel back to your country of residence. If the IRCC does not believe that you have sufficient money to pay for your trip and then some, they will refuse your application based on your personal assets and financial status. Also, be aware that personal assets and financial status refers to the funds held by and accessible to the applicant for the visa, not the Canadian inviter. An application for a Canadian visa should include financial information and documents belonging to the Canadian citizen or permanent resident who has invited the foreign national for a visit. However, the applicant for the visa must also show funds of their own. 6. Visa refusal, based on current employment situation. Because it is so important for applicants for a Canadian visa to show that they have enough money to finance their trip to Canada, it is also important that they show where this money has come from. The absolute best way to show the source of their funds is to prove that they are employed. Applicants for a Canadian visa are considered to be at higher risk of breaking the conditions of their entry and overstaying in Canada if they are unemployed at the time of their application. A job in the visa applicant's home country is one of the strongest ties that they can show to their country of residence as proof that they will return when their trip to Canada is over. Being self-employed or enrolled full-time in school is also a strong tie to the visa applicant's home country. However, if the applicant is out of school and is not working in any way, this is a significant challenge to overcome on a Canadian visa application. 7. Visa refusal, based on length of proposed stay. Because visitors who enter Canada can stay up to a maximum of 6 months, unless they are advised otherwise by the Canada Border Services Agency when they arrive, many people believe that they should state 6 months as their proposed length of stay on the visitor visa application. However, length of proposed stay is a very common ground for refusal. Asking for the maximum amount of time allowable for visitors in Canada is not usually viewed as reasonable by officers and makes it look more likely that the applicant will not leave on time. 8. Visa refusal, based on employment prospects in the country of residence. As described above, the financial documentation of the applicant is the most important part of a Canadian visa application. Applicants for a visa need to show not only that they have the money to pay for their trip to Canada, but also that they are employed as proof of where their funds come from. If the unemployment rate is high in the country of residence of the visa applicant, then this can negatively impact the Canadian visa application. If an immigration officer believes that an applicant is likely to lose their job as a result of traveling to Canada, or that they are unlikely to be able to get a job if they are not currently working, employment prospects in the country of residence can be used as grounds for refusal of the visa application. 9. Visa refusal, based on insufficient funds, income, or assets. An immigration officer cannot issue a visa to Canada if they believe that the applicant does not have enough money to pay for their trip to Canada for the purpose that they have stated on the application. They also cannot issue a visa if they do not believe the applicant has enough money to pay for their trip back to their home country. If the purpose of their visit would reasonably cost more money than the applicant has demonstrated that they have, then this is a likely reason for the refusal of the visa application. 10. Visa refusal, based on insufficient documentation of income and assets. If it is not already clear, an applicant for a visa to Canada is required to prove that they meet all the requirements for issuance of the visa. The burden of proof is on the visa applicant, not on Canadian immigration. If the applicant has stated that they have access to a certain amount of money, or that their Canadian host has access to a certain amount of money to support the visa application, then they must demonstrate this with documentation. If the applicant does not provide documentation to show what they are saying is true, then this can be grounds for refusal of the visa. 11. Visa refusal, based on misrepresentation. In the event that IRCC does not believe that the documents or information you have submitted are genuine, this alone is grounds for refusal of the application under Section 40 of the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act for misrepresentation. If an applicant for any visa or type of immigration to Canada has been determined by the IRCC to have misrepresented, then they will be barred from entering Canada for a certain period of time, and any future immigration applications will be viewed with skepticism. These are some of the commonest reasons for Canada visitors' visa refusal, and I hope that if you put these into consideration when making your application, it will go a long way to getting your visa approved. I wish you a successful application. Thanks for watching. I hope the video was helpful. If it was, click the like button, and if you have not yet subscribed, kindly do so, and hit the notification bell to be informed of our future uploads. Thank you, and I hope to see you in my next video.